Whoa, whoa, it's me again. Yes, it is. The velvet dreaded back. About to change the thing up a little. Here we go. Check it out now. Come on. In the hood, on the streets, in the club, let me hear you say, oh.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. We're here with the young crew. I'm your host, Ben.
And I'm Aveanie.
And we're here with Major Biggs and
Steve Cowell. Can you actually tell me what's the history of the Tuskegee aircraft?
This airplane is the only authentic Tuskegee Airman aircraft in existence. Nobody knew its history for over 45 years.
Can you tell us what it was like to navigate an aircraft?
Well, at first it was kind of difficult. I'll tell you why. Because we were using the same system that the Navy uses to navigate ships. And ships only go, maybe 15 or 20 knots. We're talking about 25 or 30 miles an hour. And so we jumped into an airplane that was going over 200 miles an hour. So it was kind of hard to understand that there's no difference between time. What else? Well, LORAN was also available to us during World War II, but we were not instructed in LORAN. That's long-range radio navigation.
Okay.
Radio navigation. But that's basically what it's all about. In B-25, there were 5 crew members. And the B-47 that I flew later on, there's only 3 of us. And the 3 of us did the same thing, same thing that the 5 guys did, only we're going twice as fast as you were going in B-25s.
So I understand that this aircraft is from World War II. Can you tell me what was your first emotion when you realized what you had purchased?
Oh, I was just amazed. It was just absolutely terrific, and I was thrilled because to find out that it was used by the Tuskegee Airmen, and now I got an opportunity to research all the history and find out every detail that I could about them. And I just wanted to restore this plane completely back to the way it was when used by the Tuskegee Airmen in World War II.
So I actually understand that you flew this plane in the air show today.
That's correct.
What was the feeling when doing that? I mean, how did you feel? This is a historic plane. I mean, how can you explain that?
It's a lot of fun. That's the only way I can describe it. But you have to fly it very precisely, and you have to keep your maneuvers within certain parameters, but it's a nice challenge, but an awful lot of fun.
Could you tell us the difference between a pilot and a navigator?
Well, there's a lot of difference. We have different functions. The navigator is responsible for flying the airplane safely.
Right. Okay,
and the navigator is responsible for making sure that the airplane gets to its destination.
Okay.
And it's relatively easy if you're flying over friendly territory. You don't need a navigator. As a matter of fact, really now using the systems, the navigation systems that are available to air crews, you don't even need a navigator unless the system breaks.
Right.
Then you got to have somebody to tell you where you're going or where you've been, and that's important. But navigators are very seldom used for any kind of aircraft within the continental limits.
Okay.
We flew in the B-47s in our training missions. I flew the B-47s and B-52s the continental, but we didn't use radio. We used celestial. We used radar, and we used dead reckoning, and that was it.
All right.
Okay, we didn't use radio because that's cheating.
Right. All right. Thank you.
Okay. Major Biggs, can you actually tell us what was the importance of being African American learning the education of becoming a navigator?
I think it's very important. I was fortunate in this respect. I went to when I went into the service, I was 18 years old, and I didn't have college. The prerequisite for pilot training during World War II was at minimum of 2 years college. So I was lucky enough to go to college training detachment. There was a 6-month course that gave us the equivalent of 2 years of college. And so you had to kind of scramble to make sure that you could hack it. But We did. Most of us, I can only remember one or two guys that failed out of my class, out of 189 of us that started college trainer detachment. All of us except two graduated from college detachment and went into pre-flight. By the way, college trainer detachment also included 10 hours of flight training. And some of us were given an opportunity to try it solo, and I was one of them. And that one picture that you see with my goggles on, that was the last. I thought I'd be a pilot one of these days, but I wasn't.
So it's like people are saying, you know, you had a will to do it, and where there's a will, there's a way, so you got to do it.
Well, everybody has a will. The problem is that you have to channel that will. You see, you can't say, I want to do something, and then say, oh, gee whiz, it's too hard, or, you know, maybe I can goof off today and pick it up tomorrow. And you got to really stay on top of things. He'll tell you the same thing. And this doesn't apply only to flying. It applies to anything that you plan on doing, whatever you plan on doing. And this is what happens. This is what happened to most of the guys when we went into this, because we had the same obstacles that the other trainees, the other cadets had, but we had other obstacles that kind of weighed on top of those. So we had to try just a little bit harder than the other guys. But it was the same for all of us. It wasn't anything different on the training, as far as I can remember. Now, some of the stuff that I read says that there was some problems, especially when it first started. But I was toward the end, and by that time things had kind of settled down, and people had accepted the fact that we might be able to handle these things instead of things.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mr.
You're welcome.
Thank you.